Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Good morning, Paul. Good morning, G-Man. Good to see you guys. Who else do we have in the chat? Who do we have here so far? Maverick, what's up? Looking at news, we don't have anything else this morning. I like to double check just in case anything got put on the calendar with like Trump meetings and stuff, but we just had retail sales and industrial production. That was this morning at 7:30 Central. Kind of been choppy since then. So what did that 7:30 candle do? 7:30 candle went down a little bit. So I wonder if we're going to have a similar reaction with the New York Open. Well, it went down a little bit, but then it went up and it followed through on the next candle with an up. So I don't know. I'm not going to try to make any guesses. Good morning, MX Fafo and Renzo. What's up, you guys? So, gonna do something a little bit different this morning. Since TradingView is still on the old contract, I could move over to the December contract on TradingView, but I'm just gonna chart on Project X. So, it'll be a little bit different, but I'm gonna make it work. I drew up a couple levels with the visible range volume profile. And then I do have the current day's profile right here. Looks like it's getting above this high volume node right now, but kind of just chopping around. And I finished up my TradeDay accounts earlier this morning. And then I don't feel comfortable trading my Lucid Pro accounts today, so I'm just going to do an eval. MNQ1. I have that. That's what I have, MNQ1 exclamation point. And it's the old one still for me. Never mind. You're right. I'm dumb. I just needed to scroll up. Well, I had everything all charted over here. That's all right. I have most of what I need over here. Coffee hasn't set in yet, G-Man. Oh, I can go to my settings and adjust for rollover. Where is that? On trading. Adjust for contract changes. Good to know. I like it. That looks so much better. I didn't like that giant 200-point gap. Thanks, G-Man. I've been learning lots of fun new stuff lately about the bracket orders and Project X and now TradingView and the inverted chart thing. Oh my gosh, it's been fun. All right, let's look at our sessions and mark those levels off. Kind of hovering above VWAP right now. Let's see if it holds. There is no volume up here, you guys. Like trying to find a high volume node, we got nothing. We're kind of creating one right where we're at right now. And then we have this big one down here at like 24,500. I don't see a pullback this big coming, but here's some big high volume nodes right here. Shez, good morning. It's always nice to see you in the chat since we don't get to see you that often or every day anymore. Yesterday's point of control down near like 24,500. It's kind of just been a slow grind up all night. So we're kind of creating this high volume node right where we've been chopping the last hour or so. If we hold above it, we could go for longs. Like if we have an open that's strong and then we retest and go up, I could see that situation for longs. And then pretty much the same for shorts. If we break below and hold, we're right at VWAP. So I feel like it'd be an easy option for shorts. Might be able to kind of just ride momentum at the open, honestly. One minute till the open. Kind of looks like it's wanting to head down, but let's see how it goes. If it does head down, we could also be careful and watch out for a London liquidity grab if it's quick, because it could bounce there. Market's open in just a couple seconds. Let's see how it goes. Breaking below VWAP, kind of below that high volume node, but getting a little buy up. Let's see if we reject from here. I'm going to try a short just because it is starting to hold below that volume node. I know it was aggressive, and like I said, I'm trading an eval today. Didn't want to trade a funded with rollover and FOMC tomorrow and all that. So don't follow me. 580.75 is where I entered. It is kind of bouncing off of that London low. Let's see if it holds and goes down. If it does hold below, Asia low is sitting right at yesterday's value area high. And that's also where yesterday's New York anchored VWAP is. So that's a decent spot, 527. This is a choppy open. What the heck? So far, it's holding at that London low, not breaking below. But it's also holding below VWAP, so that's a good sign. I'm going to add a couple more since it's breaking below London low, getting a little heavier. Contract rollovers suck, you guys. This right here is like a Tokyo Open. I don't know. I don't know if I can endure another day like yesterday where it was just so slow and choppy for like hours all day. Might be a quick trading day. I'm glad I'm not trading funded accounts. I didn't even look at what the retail sales numbers were. Better than expected. And we're going down. Again, I don't try to make sense of the news. What does that even mean? Numbers were good, market goes down? I don't know. If somebody in the chat wants to explain that, I'm happy to hear. Gap fill, I guess, would probably be close to where Asia low is, right? I always forget where it is. There we go. Regular trading hours. A little above Asia. So 5:30-ish, I guess. We're just one Trump tweet away from a whole bunch of blown accounts. Yeah. That's kind of one thing I was mentioning yesterday and why I was nervous about trading yesterday. Just having it be contract rollover week with liquidity being smaller or lower. And then on Financial Juice, it talked about how they were having China-US trade talks all day. So I was like, great. What happens if they make some sort of announcement with this low liquidity and it just like skyrockets or dumps in one direction randomly? Thankfully that didn't happen, but I was ready for it. I feel like it was the perfect environment for that. Moved my stop loss to break even. I felt like that was a safe move just because I don't feel like there's any other bounce areas necessarily until somewhere near Asia low, because we're already below VWAP. We've already broken below London low. The next liquidity grab is somewhere down in this region at 530-ish. We're kind of hovering at the value area low from the overnight session. Kind of looks like it's trying to hold it. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing that, Maverick. I don't know. It doesn't look super bouncy, but it's definitely having trouble breaking through. All right, we are now about 12 minutes into the open. So let's start drawing some of our lines. The 15-minute opening range high is right at Asia high. It's trying to hold down here. It's coming up to New York anchored VWAP. We'll see if it rejects. Tempted to add to your short, Maverick? Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking so too. If it rejects VWAP, get some sellers to show up here. This is where I do like to add because the risk is not nothing. Like I can keep my stop loss in profit so I wouldn't lose anything. Yep. I'm adding. Definitely rejected VWAP. Heading lower. Come on. Grab that Asia low. I know you want to. If this thing ends up going down to Asia low, this is going to be the choppiest ride ever. Maybe I should move to the 5-minute chart just so I don't have to watch the up and down so much. Oh, man. Where is our 15-minute actually? Yep. It's breaking out of the 15-minute opening range. Now it's breaking back into it. I'm not buying it. I don't know. I don't see that as a great spot to bounce. I feel like it's going to head lower. I could be wrong though. Coming up to VWAP again. Let's see if it rejects and continues lower, or if it actually breaks up and has found some support. Hey Nick, good morning. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Nick, I'm in a short. I got in. I'm trading a little bit aggressively right now because I'm in an eval. I don't feel comfortable trading a funded account today. So I got in short right at the open pretty much because it was holding below support level. And then I continued to add to it. So once it broke below VWAP, I added to it. Once it broke below London low and showed that it wasn't bouncing there, I added again. And then I think I added again actually on the rejection of New York anchored VWAP. So that's why I'm in so much. But I was able to keep my risk at $0 every time I added. It's not letting me add. There we go. Oh my gosh, are you going to go down? Did I put my buy orders too low? Well, that's yesterday's anchored VWAP. It is bouncing there a little bit. Dang it, did I put my orders too low? That's annoying. I'm debating if I think it's actually going to come grab it or if I should close it out and that's where it's going to bounce. I don't know. NQ doesn't normally come that close to liquidity and not actually grab it. So my thought is that is kind of a fake bounce and it's kind of going to come lower. So that's why I'm not closing it, but I don't like that it did that. So I'm taking most of my position off here because I feel like Asia low is a great spot to bounce and it might potentially be the bottom. But I'm leaving a runner to yesterday's point of control, which is also a good spot based on a high volume node. So just leaving a runner if it ever gets down there. Still looking like it wants lower. Oh, I have this turned off. A lot of tech stocks are hitting resistance. I haven't even looked. Is the Mag 7, I assume their Mag 7 is red. If NQ's dropping like this, then most things are probably red. So there's the Asia low, liquidity grab, bouncing so far. Let's see if it holds and continues up or if this thing goes lower. Let's see. Apple's green? Well, yeah, of course. They just released the new iPhone, right? So far, it's holding. All right, I'm going to close it out. Looks like it's bouncing so far there. We can always re-enter. New York anchored VWAP is kind of starting to get closer to this 15-minute opening range low. So if it does happen to come back up into this area, I don't know, kind of looks like it's heavy and it might just go down. But if it comes back up here, that might be a decent spot to re-enter another short. That was quite a sell-off at the open. If this thing does continue lower, I think point of control is a good target. Zooming out, I'm also seeing all of this right here. Look at that liquidity. Right around like 24,480. There's lots of wicks right there, which is right at yesterday's value area low. So that could be a decent target to the downside too. That's all right, Grumpy. There's always another trade. Stay patient. Gonna chop around here for a bit, I guess. Is that the extent of the excitement that we're gonna get for the day? Kind of watching for it to come up here and then reject, maybe come down to point of control. I've been leading the way with what? We're having a little trading competition. That actually might be fun. Like, even if we just make it for fun and do it with like a paper trading account or something. I don't know. Some sort of trading competition in our group. It's time for NASDAQ to put us all to sleep again. Testing our patience muscles. I think I'm going to go watch paint dry. Yeah, that might be more entertaining, Waffles. Well, if you guys are bored and you need something to do, go hit that like button real quick. That would be fun. We got 36 people in here. We got 13 likes. Go hit that thumbs up button. So, kind of watching volume. I mean, volume hasn't died off that much. Maybe there just wasn't a ton at the open. But volume's still there. It's just chopping. All right, coming up to the spot where I'm watching for a rejection. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to scale in a little bit, just taking 3. $541.5 is my entry right now. If it goes up and retests again, I'll probably add a little bit more. All right, it's hitting that area right at opening range low and VWAP right now. Let's see if it goes down. $546.8 is my average right now. Well, thanks, Waffles. I'm glad YouTube recommended me too. It's interesting how all that stuff works. Looking like it wants to reject. Come on, sellers. Kano Cadet, welcome. Glad to have you, man. Or a woman. I don't know. I can never tell by some YouTube names. Yeah, your Alexa and your Facebook and your phone and all those algos, they are listening. I know some people get freaked out about that kind of stuff. Like all their privacy is being tapped into or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm more of a laid back person, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't have anything to hide. If you want to listen to my conversations in my house, then you're going to be bored. I actually don't mind it because then Facebook pops up with stuff that I'm like, oh, I've been talking about how I need that with some sort of ad. But I get it with like when I search something, like a Google search, and then it pops up on ads. Obviously, I get that they can capture that on their pixels and stuff and like send me, the algorithm can read what I want there. But it's really crazy when you just talk about it. Like I didn't do a search on my phone. I wasn't even talking on my phone. Like I was just having a conversation with my husband and now it shows up on my ads? That's weird. You just want a little money for all my data? Yeah. All right. Definitely looks like it wants to sell off. Now let's figure out where we want our target to be. Do I want to target point of control? Or do we want to target all these wicks over here? I like this spot, but is that too greedy? Possibly. How low does this thing want to go? It's worse when you just think about it and they like read your mind. They're like microchipping your brain, which honestly is probably not too far off in the future. I'm going to go live off the grid if they start doing that crazy stuff. I already know exactly where I'd go if the world got to be that crazy. My uncle just bought, like my rich uncle just bought 128 acres and he's building an off-the-grid house. Like he's putting in a pond with fish and like putting in some smaller fish that they can feed off of each other, so it'll all be like sustainable. And he's going to put in a garden and just all this stuff. Living off the grid. That's where I would go if the world went crazy. Oh, that's weird, Maverick. Yeah, and bed bugs. Like, you never talk about bed bugs. Well, it came down and wicked that value area low, Asia low thing spot again and bought right back up. I'm not loving that. Come on, let's continue lower. Yeah, that's why Shez, like, it's not far off. Wouldn't surprise me. I gotta stop talking about this kind of stuff. YouTube is gonna ban me. uh, you like to set your home address halfway around the world and drive Google nuts? Yeah, I used to use a VPN for a lot of stuff, but from what I've heard, you're not allowed to trade with a VPN, so I've started turning it off. Well, so far it's still holding below VWAP and below that opening range. I don't love that big buy up though. But I feel like it already kind of had an Asia low liquidity grab there. Now it came down again. What's going on here? Are we going up now? Nice, Grumpy. Yeah, on that little reaction, bounce off of view up and down, quick scalp might have been the play. Because I don't know if it's heading lower anymore. We need some Jeopardy music. Oh yeah, definitely. FOMC tomorrow. Contract rollover, so volume is lower anyway. Yeah, the market's sucking. I'm closing it early, you guys. Didn't let it hit my full stop loss. I don't like that it bounced again at Asia low and had a big buy up from it. So small loss there, down, lost like $96 on that one. Next area for possible rejection is the session VWAP here. So let's see if it comes back up there and rejects. There you go, Waffles. That's a good mindset. Gold going long. Yeah, and I feel like the Asia session, I've talked to you about this, G-Man, the VWAP I feel like is not respected during the Asia session. But that was a decent bounce off of VWAP there. All right, it is rejecting. I'm going to try it again. 539 is my entry. Nope. All right. Back to the drawing board. We do have the initial balance being finalized and set in about 9 minutes. So that might be the next spot where I find a trade. You're still in the short? Yeah. It hasn't really broken up above VWAP yet. It just, I don't know. Kind of looks like it wants to. It's trying to. Yeah, watching for a rejection of VWAP, but honestly, looking at the like higher time frame, high volume nodes, it could come back up to 15-minute opening range high if it breaks through VWAP. Let's see. VWAP is sitting around 570-ish. We could also take a look at our current session volume profile. Well, Shez, the markets this week are a good opportunity for you to test your patience. Yesterday and today has just been slow. So good chance for you just to sit and watch and practice being patient. I say that because I feel it too. Coming back down to test that 15-minute opening range low and VWAP. Man, if this thing is going to break VWAP and go back up to the range high, that's a decent trade idea. But I feel like the trend is down, so I don't want to go against the trend and expect a breakout. I feel like the safer bet would be to assume shorts until proven otherwise. So if it breaks above VWAP, then we can look for longs. Let's look at a low of day anchored VWAP. Because if for some reason it doesn't make it all the way up to VWAP and it starts to reject, we could take a short when it passes there. Are you still in the short, G-Man? It's kind of starting to look good if you are. I'm curious where you put your stop loss. All right, since we're breaking below that low of day anchored VWAP, I'm entering just 3. The reason I'm going smaller is I want to give myself an opportunity to add if it does come up to VWAP. And then also we do have point of control down here. So if it breaks and holds below point of control, that would give more confirmation. So kind of chasing it a little bit. That's why I went smaller. $532, Grumpy, are you in a short and that's what you're targeting? I think it could definitely hit 532. Sitting right at point of control right now. Let's see if it breaks below it. We do have our initial balance pretty much set at this point too. So IB low is down at 518. If it ends up coming down here, we'd have to see if it's gonna actually break below IB low or hold it. Oh, good luck. Hope it works out for you, G-Man. D, it was contract rollover. Moving from the September to December contract, that's why. So most prop firms are on the December contract now at this point. And that's where most of the volume is being traded. So that's why there was that crazy, it was what, like a 200 point gap or something. You're welcome. Good morning, by the way. Still stuck to that point of control level. Good to hear, Nick. You doing well with those accounts so far? Need some ranch dressing to go with this chopped salad. Yeah. That is why I'm not trading my funded accounts today. I'm trading an eval. It's holding below the low of day anchored view up. But still chopping. Well, I don't know. Good question, Grumpy. So there's different types of prop firm accounts. You can buy what they call direct funded or straight to funded. They're more expensive. They're usually like $300 to $400 depending on who you go with and what size account you get. And they have stricter rules, in my opinion. Like you have to trade usually a 20% consistency, which means that no more than 20% can come from one day of trading. If you go the eval route, which is usually what I do because they're cheaper, you just have to trade to a specific profit target, like the one that I'm doing. I have to hit $3,000 profit in this account. So I have to it started at 50,000. I have to get to 53,000 and that'll be passing. And then from there, you go to a funded account. So you can't take a payout in the eval. That's kind of just like a test phase to show that you're a decent trader, you're a profitable trader. And then they bring you to the funded stage is what they call it. And usually if you do the eval to the funded route, the rules are a little bit less strict because you kind of do the proving of yourself in the eval phase. So in this account, for example, with Lucid, if I bought the direct funded account, there's a 20% consistency rule. If I do the test first and then go to funded, it's a 35% consistency rule in the funded account. So that's how I do it, and it's cheaper. The direct account is $290 or something like that, and then the test account is only $85 with their current sale for the $50,000 account. So it's a lot cheaper. The only difference is you have to spend a couple days passing an eval, which to me is not that big of a deal. I really like prop firms. I think it gives people a chance to have access to more funding than they might have on their own. And it allows you to learn too. Like, I would much rather learn with a prop firm and lose the $85 that I spent on an eval account than putting several $1,000s of my own money in and lose all of that, you know? Which I know you don't have to lose all of it. Like, you can manage your risk and size down and all that, but you still have all the emotions and stuff. So if you tilt and do something stupid, then you're losing your $85 prop firm fee rather than the $3,000 that you put into your account, or whatever, however much you put in there. I do trade live every day. Usually at the New York Open. Tomorrow I'm not trading the Open because it's FOMC day, and historically the morning before a rate decision is super crappy and I don't want to be stuck in that. So I am trading tomorrow afternoon, but usually it's at the New York Open. I did not put my Discord link in the chat. I'll do that right now so that you can join the Discord, because I always post my like levels and stuff in there, and we can chat when I'm not live streaming to share trade ideas. Also, I post my live schedule in there so you know when I'm going live. Grumpy, it's 3K whenever you can make it. So the thing I like about Lucid, I'm not trying to sell you on Lucid, I'm just telling you because I'm trading it right now. But most prop firms have some sort of monthly subscription fee. Like, if you don't pass the eval within the first month, there's some sort of like maintenance fee. Lucid, it's a one-time fee and there's no monthly fee. So if you don't pass it within the first month, you can take 3 months to pass it. There's no timeline on it, so you don't have to feel rushed. So yeah, I mean, check out Lucid. Right now, I think it's 30% off. Let me look so I'm not misquoting you. They're one of my favorites right now. I do like TradeDay too. They have a 5-day eval, so you have to get the same $3,000 profit target, but they have you spread it out over 5 days. And then once you pass, you get access to daily payouts. So it's a little bit different. You don't have to follow like the 35% consistency and all that. The payouts are a little bit more flexible. So those are my two favorites currently. The promotion with Lucid right now is if you do the test account, like I mentioned, where you do the eval and then go to the funded stage, it's 45% off. So if you do the 50K test account, it's like $85, I think, right now, which is a good deal. There are cheaper options out there, like Apex, for example. I think they're like $36, but then there's an activation fee. So there's kind of a gotcha. After you pass the test, then you have to pay like $160 activation fee. So it ends up being $200. Same thing with Top Step. It's only $49 for the eval, but then you have to pay $149 activation fee. So I would recommend going with like the $80 or $90 option with no activation fee because they're cheaper. Yeah, buddy. Use code Krista. You get 45% off. And then if you liked the sound of TradeDay with the daily payouts, it is for the 50K account, it's $115 for their end of day drawdown account. And there's no activation fee on that one either. So those are the two that I like right now. There's lots of good options out there. Well, IB low is right here. So if it does make it down there, I'm going to watch and see what kind of reaction it gets. If it breaks below, then it could be coming back down to yesterday's point of control. I found you in Discord, K Cadet. Welcome. Welcome to the group. Yeah, so the daily loss limit is, what is it, 1,200 or 1,250? That basically is just there so you don't blow your account in one day. I threw out the 50K account number because that's the one that I usually trade with. But it's $2,000 drawdown is what like fails your evaluation or your account. But a daily loss limit is $1,250. So that just means if you lose $1,250 or $1,200, I don't remember what it is. If you lose that amount in one day, it just blocks your account for that day, and then you can trade again tomorrow, and you have $800 left. So they're basically just forcing you to slow down and not tilt and blow your account in one day. That's all. I agree, Grumpy. Using other people's money. That's the main thing I like about prop firms. Because honestly, like for now, in the stage that I'm in currently, I like it because I'm still not like as consistent as I want to be. So there's times when I take payouts and I'm trading really well. And then there's times when I'm losing and I end up hitting my drawdown limits and I lose accounts. And if that was my own money, I think there would be a ton of pressure on that. So it's great during the learning phase. And then even if I got to the point where I was super consistent and I had the money to fund my own account, why not use someone else's money so that I can, if I had that much money, like if I had $50,000 to fund an account, why not use the 50K to do some other investment and use other people's money with prop firms? As long as they're paying and they have the same like structure they have now, which is really beneficial for traders, I'll be using prop firms, I think. K-Nell Cadet, look in, there's a channel called Live Schedule in Discord. That's where I post it. So normally in the mornings, tomorrow it'll be in the afternoon. All right, Nick, have a great day. Yeah, you're welcome, Steve. Are you in the Discord? If you're not, join in there. That way, if you have any questions, I'm happy to help you out. Because I know, like I said, there's lots of prop firms out there, and it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not familiar with it. All right, join the Discord if you want. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want, but that's a good way to find me and actually be able to like ask questions. I know when I first got into prop firms, it was so confusing because there's tons of different prop firms. First of all, how do you know who to choose? And then once you find one, like, how do I understand the rules? How am I supposed to trade it? So feel free to ask. Cool. Yeah, sounds good, Nick. You know, even more accountability, if you're up for it, is posting in the P&L chat. That's actually why I have it. Kind of just for my own accountability. And if you guys want to share, I would love it. It's not just for the wins, it's for the losses too. Kind of like I posted yesterday. We're all in this together, ups and the downs. The stress is real. Yep. Well, it never really made it back down to IB low. I'm wondering if it's going to retest down there. Still chopping at this point of control level. Yeah, you're welcome, Nick. Yeah, I get it, Steve. I've kind of felt the same. I mean, it's a new Discord. I just started it this month, I think. So it's a good little community. You don't get caught up in all the noise, being too crowded. You can actually get your questions answered. Like if you join some of the actual prop firm trading Discords where there's like 30,000 people in there, it's hard to filter through everything. Do most prop firms let you tie in TradingView, or do you chart on TradingView and then place it on the prop firm platform? Good question. So if you trade with TradeDay or NinjaTrader, or there's a couple of other ones, you can integrate that with TradingView and take the trade right on TradingView. Project X does not integrate with TradingView unless you're using some third-party like API thing, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend because there have been a lot of glitches with that lately. What I do personally is I chart in TradingView and then I just switch over. That's why I'm always switching my screens back and forth. But a good thing about Project X is it has a TradingView like platform. So it's, if you're used to TradingView, it's all very similar. Like they have the same tools and everything over here. You can see it on the left. So you could technically, depending on what indicators you use and how you chart, you could technically chart right on Project X. Everyone has their own platform that they prefer. I like Project X best just because their lockout features are really good. Kind of helps with discipline. You can set like a daily loss limit so that you can't blow your account in one day. You have to walk away after you lose a certain amount of money. If you struggle with discipline at all like that, then Project X is really good. Lucid, so I use Project X with Lucid. So Project X does not have TradingView access. You would have to figure out, I'm going to pull their website up on here. So they use Rhythmic, Project X, Motive Wave, and Quant Tower. So I guess you would have to look at TradingView and see if any of those integrate with TradingView. I know they're adding NinjaTrader and Trade-of-8 soon. Project X is not new. I don't know how long they've been around. It is a platform that started with TopStep. They call it TopStep X. And a lot of other firms have started to add it. All right, coming back up to New York, anchor VWAP and rejecting again. I'm adding 3 more based on that rejection. So now my average entry is 542.2. I'm going to trail my stop loss down a little bit. Which platform do I use? This is Project X. The only 2 I've ever used are Trade-of-8 / NinjaTrader. They're pretty much identical. And Project X. So all the other ones listed on the website, Rhythmic, Motive Wave, and Quant Tower, I don't know. I can't give you a review on those. I'm not familiar with them. Learn something new every day. I learned something new this morning too about contract rollovers and how to adjust that in TradingView. Man, I probably shouldn't be trading this, you guys. This is ugly. Do I get market data with Lucid or with Project X? So it would be with Project X. Lucid is just the prop firm where you like buy the accounts and follow their payout rules, and they are the ones who pay you. Because initially, it's all, this is a what they call sim funded money. Like you're not trading with real money in a real brokerage account. It's all sim fake money. You're playing with like internet monopoly money. Basically, they're banking. So they're charging you like a fee for the account. And the pass rate obviously is not great because most traders are not super successful. So they use the account fees to pay you. Like if you actually get to a payout and request money from your account, they use the sign-up fees to pay you. You're not officially a live trader usually until like 4 or 5 payouts. After you've shown that you're a consistent, profitable trader, then they'll put you in a live account where they actually give you real live money to trade with. So in the beginning, it's just a sim account. Like the trades that I'm taking right now are just in a pretend account. Hopefully I explained that well enough that it made sense. So in terms of market data, I mean, it comes from Project X, which is the platform. Lucid is just the company that you sign up for the account with, and they pay you. All right, so we're getting a clear break below this support level, which has turned into point of control. Coming down towards IB low, which is at 518. I want to see if it holds there, like if it bounces. Or this could be a break and continue lower. I'm moving my stop loss to break even. Project X doesn't charge anything. Well, I'm sure it's all built into the cost of the account, but you're not charged extra. So that account that I gave you the example, if you get the 50K test account, it's $85 roughly with their sale. There's no other like monthly data fees or anything like that. All right, so it's not looking like it's going to bounce at IB low. Looks like it wants lower. Let's see if we get a good candle closure below. Sounds like you've been doing it all wrong. Hey, we all got to learn, right? And if you can learn with someone else's money and not your own money, that's the way to go. You can also get, I mean, this is down the road. Like, I'm not saying you should do this right now if you're brand new to prop firms, but you can also copy trade, which means you trade 5 accounts at once or 3 accounts at once, however many you want. Lucid allows you to trade up to 5. So I have the 50K account, but I can trade 5 at a time. So that's kind of cool. You can get access to a lot of other people's money. And I mean, I don't know what kind of money you have personally, but most people don't have 50,000, 100,000, like just a bunch of liquid money that they can put into a prop firm trading account and play with. Like, what if you lose? Most people don't have that kind of money just to not be hurt by if they lose. So why not practice with someone else's money? Watching to see how this 5-minute candle closes. If we close below below, I'm probably going to add to my position and ride this thing lower, start scaling out. Because with how heavy this has been all day, we could be going lower than even my target that I have. We have, oops, I marked this as value area high. This is value area low. I'm upside down today. And then I marked this one as value area high. That one's value area low. I inverted my own chart today. We have a big old fair value gap all the way down to like 417. That's interesting. Okay, Renzo. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just because this is how I've always done it. I can see where it would be uncomfortable if you had to change. But I've always just charted in TradingView and then moved over to my prop firm. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So Grumpy, the way copy trading works is whatever trade I take in this account, like I'm in 8 contracts, it'll also take 8 contracts in the other account too. If you do it in Project X, if you do copy trading in like Trade of 8, for example, it multiplies it out. Like if I'm trading 3 accounts and then I take a 9 contract trade, it'll be 3 across the 3 times 3. So just figure out which prop firm you're using and follow their instructions or their rules. Well, for now, it is bouncing at IB low. I added a little bit to it because I still think we're going lower. That's just my thought. We have that resistance that we kind of created overhead with the chop from the last hour. So I think that's a safe spot to put a stop loss. If it does bounce and hold back above that level, then we're going higher, and I don't want to be in the trade anymore. You're welcome. Yeah, Grumpy, if you've already taken a couple trades, sounds like you're more of a scalper where you get in and out fast. Might be pushing your luck. Where is point of control? Sitting at like 538. Well, it might come up and hit my stop loss. Yep. Well, I don't want to sit through the choppiness anymore. This is kind of gross, PA. I think I'm going to call it a day there. Tomorrow, like I said, I'm not trading in the morning. I don't want to deal with the FOMC chop that's likely going to happen tomorrow in the morning. I will be on tomorrow afternoon though, so we'll see how price action is after the rate decision. If we get some crazy moves, it might be fun. But if you guys haven't already, hit the like button on the stream on the way out. It does help me as I grow my little bitty channel. And then you're welcome to join us in Discord too. I put the link in the chat. Would be happy to have you guys. If you're going to keep trading today, you guys, trade safe. Have a good one.